in my quick 5 minutes, I'm going to be introducing you to Cambridge Hub and myself and the rest of the team who aren't here today, our value proposition, business model, why we want to be part of the incubator, and what our scalability is over that time. So first of all, Cambridge Hub. What we do is provide opportunities for students at Cambridge University to get involved in tackling social and environmental issues, both here and now while they're students and then into the future in their future careers, lives, whatever they go on to do. So I guess in essence what we do is empower students at Cambridge University to make a bigger positive impact in the world, in Cambridge and beyond. To tell you a little bit about me, I'm the Cambridge Hub manager and I've been involved for the last 2 years as a fully paid member of staff. The reason I got involved in Cambridge Hub is because I studied here a few years ago myself, and the opportunities I kind of made the most of while I was at university is what kind of put me on this lifelong path to try and be doing everything I can to tackle environmental and social sustainability, and I want to help other people do that too, because I see that being the place where we can really have a massive impact by empowering more young people to do all of that kind of stuff. There's other people involved who are Anna and Will, who are both not here this weekend because they're at a hubathon with the rest of the student committee, both from Cambridge, and there's 9 other hubs around the country, and they're all getting together in Oxford this weekend, doing lots of planning and things for next year. To give you a history of Cambridge Hub specifically, it set up in 2008 as a student society. It's had staff support since 2011. I got involved in 2012, and it's basically just constantly growing, more and more programs, more and more activities, more and more things going on to be having positive impact through the stuff that's happening. And to give you a couple of examples, we produce an ethical guide to Cambridge once a year for newcomers to Cambridge. That's not just students, it's also people who live in the local community. Very handily, it's like yellow is student-related things, and white pages is non-student, so if you want to have a look at that, you're welcome. We have like a consultancy program where we link up students with local organisations who've got a challenge they want to address. We have various conferences that we support student committees to run, just to give you a flavour of some of the things we do. So to move on to the proposition. Our proposition, I guess, is mostly to colleges within the university. To give you, the reason we're here is basically because Cambridge Hub, out of all of the local hubs in different parts of the country, we're in the weakest financial position. We're not financially sustainable at the moment, and we want to become financially sustainable so that we can keep growing and keep developing our impact, basically. So I think what the proposition is basically to be saying to colleges, rather than just asking them for donations, it's about saying to them about all these opportunities that we provide to students that benefit the local area and beyond, and complement their academic studies. It's about improving the student experience so that students are happier and more fulfilled while they're here. It's about increasing the linkages between the university and the local community. That term town-gown divide is often bandied about, and lots of people have various issues with it, but we often see that there are certain things where we can do more to increase the cohesion. And it's going to increase student employability, developing those soft skills and helping people get those experiences that are going to take them forwards into their future careers. So in terms of the business model, as I said, we want to increase our financial sustainability. We have annual costs of about £60,000 at the moment, which covers everything, all of the staff costs, the office costs. That basically delivers. We've got about 25 different programs or activity streams that we run and have students running that we support, and we've got about 3,000 students engaged in some way at the moment, which is about a quarter of the undergraduate population. That's what that equates to. But a third of that money currently comes from the national parent charity, which is Student Hubs, and we need to be raising that money ourselves to make sure we can expand into the future. So what we're thinking of doing is having a menu of options that we take to colleges and departments, maybe varying between sort of £50 and £1,000, actually selling the services that we offer. So doing all the things that we do, but doing it directly for that college and talking in their language about what they're wanting to get out of that for their students. We do have other ideas of monetising our programmes as well by actually selling the consultancy to local organisations, asking them to pay a small amount for that service we're providing, getting more adverts in the ethical guide to cover the cost of that. We run school workshops projects and maybe asking private schools to pay a little bit for us, providing them with with students who are doing these great workshops. I haven't said anything about
You've got more sentences in.
Okay, so why we want to be in the incubator is because it will allow us to put that focus on that self-generation. There's so much going on all the time that it's hard to focus on it. Getting that regular advice and support, using those networks, and making improvements in things like our impact measurement and our ability to be tracking all our finances and things like that, and maybe making use of the free space too. Yeah.
I think I'll stop you there.
So you're employed on a full-time basis in the business at the moment, and you have been for a couple of years now?
Yes.
Right, okay, so it's paid you a wage. How many other people fully?
Only me. So the other two people that work with me are part of we have a graduate scheme, and that's a 10-month programme whereby they don't get a salary, but they get a stipend and accommodation and a full training programme alongside that, which is delivered nationally.
Okay, so it's not a start-up business as such.
No, it's been running, but it's about making ourselves more like a business, I guess, than charity, which is what we are.
Okay. Are you a sole trader or a limited company?
It's a Student Hubs is a charity, and Cambridge Hub is one part of that.
Okay.
But the idea is that each hub is autonomous in its own right,
Okay.
sort of operating in. So the expectation is that we do become financially sustainable and to
individually sustainable.
Exactly.
Sustainable.
Yeah.
And you have costs at the moment of around about £60,000 a year.
Yeah.
So is there a shortfall in
There is. So a third is what we receive in subsidy from the national organisation at the moment.
Okay.
So
in terms of, we've talked in the past, of course, in terms of Homer's menu,
yeah.
of costed service colleges, and you've mentioned departments as well.
Yeah.
I mean, from experience or from punch and all the knowledge of the university and the way it works, how confident are you to sell those into the colleges?
I think the first step is not to just go to them with this menu of options, it's to actually talk to lots of our contacts within the colleges and just sort of test out the idea on them, doing the market research and things like that, to check what they think would work, whether it is something they would actually pay for here and now, whether they can see that being a viable option, and using that to adapt our language according to what they would be looking for to enhance their students' experiences and things like that. I mean, I didn't mention, like, we're also talking about doing it for them being able to tell great stories to their alumni so that they can themselves bring in more money by saying what social benefit they're having here and now with their current students, and that makes it more sort of better, that it will give them more opportunity to raise more money as a result.
Do the other student hubs around the country have other income models? And why can't Cambridge?
Yeah, so the reason that Cambridge is different is because we were the second one to get set up, and because it got set up as a student society, it meant that we just went and did all this stuff before we actually got the finances behind us, and it was sort of deemed a really important place to be investing money to keep it growing and things, but all other hubs have much more support from the university, and now the model is that when a new hub sets up, it has to be like financially, it's financed by the university basically.
There's no chance of that happening retrospectively here.
Well, I've been trying that for the last year and haven't got anywhere so far, so.
Okay.
So what would you need in order to grow the business now, to really push it forward?
Well, I think it's mostly just the big thing that the incubator would give us is that priority on making this an absolute essential part of what we're doing in the day-to-day, thinking about this stuff, because what's happened over the last year is because we're, as I just was saying, like, we spend so much time just responding to all of the day-to-day things that we're doing. So we've got so many events going on all the time, so many different people that we're responding to, and that means that the finances, the fundraising gets sidelined because it's not the immediate priority. And so this would allow us to be constantly having that check-in and that ability to connect quite easily with the different people we need to talk to, and keep us almost accountable to doing that, and making ourselves focus on by next year being like, we are going to be 100% financially sustainable by next year from raising money locally.
So it's support from the hub in terms of helping you achieve that.
Yeah.
Any other questions or questions? No? Okay, thanks everyone for Okay, so while we quickly scribble